Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Still on the theme of one Nigeria being a fraud. I want you to listen to the statement about to be made by Kwakanso. He made this at the Chatham House yesterday, and listen particularly to how his tone and everything else, his voice and everything, his mannerisms when he was asking when he was asked a question. I believe somebody, maybe not an Igbo man, but somebody that was supporting Peter Obi. Now, like I said, I don't have any belief in either Kwankwaso or Peter Obi or Emiloko or Atiku win self-determination. But I'm telling you yet again that the issue that is at hand here, particularly, is the issue of the Middle Belt being completely disregarded, and they're not even their vote being added to the North in their eyes, and that shows that this election is rigged. But let's listen to his statement and notice how his tone of voice is really like, it shows the deep tribalistic roots of his of how he perceives that nation that they keep insisting must be won. We have the right to self-determination. Britain is not God. Britain is not God, and we had Yoruba Kingdom. We had the Dahomey, we had the Benin Kingdom before the Brits came and destroyed them, and we have the right to form those kingdoms back if we so wish. You cannot, no one person, no Kwakwanso, no, but none of them can tell us we shouldn't clamor for Yoruba nation or Biafra nation or Middle Belt. And the manner in which they are talking to us and talking down to us as second-class citizens in what they call one Nigeria is clear evidence of why we are going for self-determination. So listen to this. Listen to him.
That will not go through all this issue of insecurity, the issue of economy, the issue of education, and so on and so forth, especially the issue of ASU that was being mentioned now. ASU and NNPP, we are on the same page. We are working.
Just give me a few minutes. We'll come up
in fact, I'm happy to say that when I was governor in Kano, there was a time ASU was going on strike, but Kano branch had to take permission not to join them because they believe that we are doing the right thing. And that right thing will continue when we have the opportunity to bring everybody on board so that, as I mentioned in my speech, we don't have to have or witness ASU or other unions going on unnecessary strike.
Now, listen.
The issue of labor.
Now, listen.
You see, that's the problem we have.
See?
The gentleman who stood up there, I'm sure he comes from a particular group or a region without even asking him, just because you saw, if you have a party which is based on ethnicity and religion, that's the difference between Labour Party and, of course, our party, which is a national party, New Nigeria People's Party. Now, we want, please, you see, while we are accusing leaders of being one thing or the other negative, I think the followers also must learn how to be Nigerians, not coming from one part of the country. Let me say that I was one of those initially wanting to work together with Labour Party. But unfortunately, at that time, Labour Party was under very serious media hype, and therefore they could not see reason. And you still not see reason that I will withdraw. I wish you didn't go to that extent.
You see?
You would have said that to work with Labour or to work with APC or PDP. That would have been more responsible. But you cannot come to London. Maybe people who are here don't even know what is happening. And I want to say that our party, NNPP, is the only growing party in Nigeria today. We have seen the maximum any party, especially the party you mentioned, Labour, to us is like Andrew's Labour salt. Just came, now it's coming down. That's the reality. Just take note of it. And of course, NNPP, our party, is the only party that is now getting support. Forget about big people who are the actual problem of our country. but supporters at grassroots level, we are the only party today. And mark you, we have succeeded in locking northern Nigeria today in terms of votes, in terms of.
Now, about that, let me show you a map. Again, it ties into yesterday, and I'm going to show you this map. When he talks about northern Nigeria today, this is all psychology. I want you all to understand, and I'm going to bring that map in again. Now, if I could just find it, 1 second, because this is a very important point here. And by the way, they tell us that the whole of the south, the southwest, we are not up to 20,000 people. Really? That's another thing for later on. Let's go and look for this picture. Let's have a look. 1 second, please. I'm just going to get this for you. 1 second. It will come up briefly, quickly, if I can find it. If not, there's another way to find it. Okay, there's another way to find it. Just give me a minute, please. So let me just type in something quickly. Hopefully I'll get it out. Let's see if we can come up with that. I'm just want to show you the map that I showed yesterday. I mean, there's another way I can show it if it comes to it, and I can add it to this broadcast. But I'm actually the point he made about the North, and this is what I want you to understand. The North keep adding Middle Belt as part of the North, and they say they are more than the South. It is a lie. I showed the program yesterday, and I'm reiterating that now. Now, let us find that picture for you. 1 second, please. I will find it, no doubt, in a couple of clicks. 1 second. Let's go there, and then let's go there, and then let's go here, and then, of course, finally, we can go, no, not in here, this one. Okay, so now, let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. Not that one. I just want to try and find it. Oh, goodness me. When you want something, it suddenly becomes very difficult to track or find. I had it yesterday. I showed it yesterday. But it is there to emphasize a particular point, and that's why it's important that I actually bring it out. I mean, there might be another way for me to do it. There probably is. 1 second, please. 1 second. I just need to find this for you. Here we go. I knew it would come up. Right, there we go. That's what I wanted you to see. So let's clip this down. Now, as he's talking, you see the North. Look at the map of the North that he's talking about. You see? That is Middle Belt there. That is not the North. They've done something. In fact, I'm going to get you, let me get you a picture, which I did. In fact, I'll even do better than that. In fact, it is better I do this. 1 second, I'm just going to quickly go into that broadcast, and then you will see, not the broadcast, I'm going to show you something which I posted this morning, and I want you to see that because it's very, very important that we understand the game that these people are playing. When they talk about the North being larger than the South and everything else, they haven't got the numbers. They simply haven't. So this is a better picture to show you, not that one. Now, there you go. That's exactly the picture I wanted to bring to you. And in fact, can I make it smaller? Yes. So I can do this. So when he's talking about the North, this is what they mean by the North. This is what the North is, this much. You see? But their idea of North is to eat up the whole of Middle Belt. They have been rendered voiceless, and they say that is why they say they were going to win. So keep in mind, when they're talking about that, the North and they're bigger than everything else, it's a lie. This election is going to be a fraudulent election. He is so confident of that because INEC, I said it, INEC are portraying the whole of the Middle Belt as part of the North. And that is the clearest evidence. the clearest evidence that this election will be rigged. Because, of course, we all know that the Middle Belt is not part of the North. But INEC is portraying it. And if INEC is portraying the Middle Belt as the North, and they are running the elections, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? I'm just asking. INEC are the ones organizing the elections, but they are already in their own papers showing to us that they see the whole of the Middle Belt as part of the North. Now tell me, how is INEC independent in this? How are they not biased when they are portraying the Middle Belt? As you see in that picture, the Middle Belt should be separate from the North. And you think we are going to have a really, how can I put it, a free and fair elections? And you can hear him talking confidently because they know what they're going to do with the figures of already. INEC is not independent. INEC is part of the fraud. INEC is a fraudulent organization created under a fraudulent constitution. And the evidence of what I'm saying is the picture that you see there. Let me, can I make it bigger? Can I make it bigger? Let me see. No, it won't go bigger. Okay. I just wanted to just, so you can see it. So it's really important that we really understand exactly what these people have done. This is exactly what we have been saying, and we've been really trying to emphasize and expose. Look at the venom in it. Listen to the venom in his voice as soon as he turned about, oh, yeah, you're coming from a particular place. It should not matter where you come from. They are the same people who are telling us to be one Nigeria. But they are very quick to say if you come from another part of Nigeria that is not North. And this is the problem. That is why we keep talking about we need for us to go for self-determination. So this video is actually quite a timely video. I want you to, this part of it, I'm probably going to put it up to show what I'm saying. And this is it really highlights the real deep-seated hatred that the North has got. So let me put it this way. I'll put it this way. Sorry, I'm going to put it here. And I'll take that down. So I want you to be looking at that so you can get that picture. I wanted you to get not that. I don't make it smaller. I wanted you to get a better sense of what I'm saying. Because when he's talking, and he's talking about, let's play, I'm going to play this and look at that picture. So let's do this.
Support.
Let's do this.
Issue of legacy, we want to have a united Nigeria, a Nigeria that will not go through all this issue of insecurity, the issue of economy, the issue of education, and so on and so forth, especially the issue of ASU that was being mentioned now. ASU and NNPP, we are on the same page. We are working in direction. In fact, I'm happy to say that when I was governor in Kano, there was a time ASU was going on strike, but Kano branch had to take permission not to join them because they believe that we are doing the right thing. And that right thing will continue when we have the opportunity to bring everybody on board so that, as I mentioned in my speech, we don't have to have or witness ASU or other unions going on unnecessary
have that picture in mind as you're listening,
strike. The issue of labor, you see, that's the problem we have.
Listen.
The gentleman who stood up there, I'm sure he comes from a particular group or a region. Without
it shouldn't matter what region we come from. The main thing is if it's the one Nigeria you're talking about, you just want one Nigeria, the land, but you don't want the people. That's the reality. And that is the example of what I mean is what I mean by that is what has just happened. The Middle Belt has been taken to be part of the North by INEC. And nobody is questioning that. And that's what we're trying to bring to your attention. He clearly shows his tribalistic instincts of saying, if you're coming from a particular part, you don't have anything to say. And we want one Nigeria, and that's it. And that is the thing. This is what is portrayed. INEC is telling us that Middle Belt is part of the North. And that is it. And we are saying we want to be in that kind of a nation. We should be going away from it. So I just wanted to highlight and buttress that point. But let's listen to his statement again. Here we go.
Just because if you have a party which is based on ethnicity and religion, that's the difference between Labour Party and, of course, our party, which is a national party, New Nigeria People's Party.
See?
Now, we want, please, you see, while we are accusing leaders of being one thing or the other negative, I think the followers also must learn how to be
You see?
Nigerians, not coming from one part of the country.
Well, you
Let
see,
me say that I
you see, the statement he just made there is sheer hypocrisy. Because when you refuse, when you, the North are actively taking over the Middle Belt area and calling it the North, and using it to way to psychologically say they are more than the whole of than the South. That is the problem right there. So the statement he makes there is very, very, in fact, it's tribalistic, it's prejudiced, it's got all kinds of negative connotations with it. So I just wanted to just bring that to your attention. But let's listen.
He was one of those initially wanting to work together with Labour Party. But unfortunately, at that time, Labour Party was under
Keep
very
watching
serious,
the picture
media hype.
and connect to what he's saying.
And therefore, they could not see reason. And he still not see reason that I will withdraw. I wish you didn't go to that extent. You would have said that to work with Labour or to work with APC or PDP. That would have been more responsible. But you cannot come to London. Maybe people who are here don't even know what is happening.
Can you see what he's saying?
And I want to say that our party, NNPP, is the only growing party in Nigeria today.
Listen.
We have seen the maximum.
You see?
Any party, especially the party you mentioned, Labour, to us is like Andrew's Labour salt. Just came, prrr, now it's coming down. That's the reality. Just take note of it.
You see?
And of course, NNPP, our party, is the only party that is now getting support. Forget about big people who are the actual problem of our country.
I want to ask a question. Is Kwakanso not a big person? Can you see the game they're playing? Is Kwakanso himself not a big person, part of the people have been looting and looting? He's going to mention a list of positions he held. Can you see they're playing a game with you guys? This election is a fraud. It is a fraud from top to bottom. Let's listen on for a little bit more, then we'll probably wrap
But
it up.
supporters at grassroots level, we are the only party today. And mark you, we have succeeded in locking northern Nigeria today in terms of votes, in terms of support. Now we are working.
So they've locked northern Nigeria. What he means by when they have locked northern Nigeria in terms of votes is what I'm showing you. The INEC has portrayed the Middle Belt as part of the North. That is what they're talking about. So when any of the South, they're saying we're only 45 million. It's a lie. It is a lie. The Middle Belt, the North has taken over, and many people are not speaking about this, and we need to speak about it. We need to speak about this fact. So when they say they've locked down the North, they're saying there's no way that the North will be, nobody in the North. They're saying you're going to vote for the people in the North. That's it. That's what they're saying. And on top of that, they're taking the Middle Belt, which they've now with the INEC. And I keep telling you, INEC is not independent. INEC is not independent because INEC is doing the bidding of Northerners. To portray Middle Belt as part of the North is to psychologically make the rest of us believe that they are more than us. That's what they're doing. This election is a fraud. It is a fraud, and I'm stating it from the get-go. I'm stating it. Listen on.
In the southern part of the country, and for us, the difference between North and South is that North know us more than southern part of the country. If you are from the North, I'm sure you wouldn't have made that statement for Kwakanso to withdraw for Labour Party.
You see?
You should go and look at my credentials, my brother.
You see?
I am a PhD holder
You see?
in civil engineering. And check your candidate, what he has. I have been in the system for over 30 years now.
So he's been in the system for over 30 years, but he's not a big man. Oh, 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 so he's not a big man. This guy is not a big man, Abi. In the system for over 30 years, holding various positions, and yet they take no accountability, no responsibility for anything going wrong. And yet they offer themselves up forward over and over again as part of the solution. You can see it's a fraud. Let's break up that contraption. The constitution is illegal. It is a military document, promulgation document number 24 of 1999, that we must dismantle, and we need to go for self-determination via referendum. But let's listen on for a bit more.
A civil servant for 17 years.
You see?
I wasn't a trader. Civil servant for 17 years.
See, you're saying it now.
I was Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps in 1992.
You see the list of...
I was in the Constituent Conference elected delegate. I was governor of Kano State for 8 years. And so on and so. I was in the Senate.
You see?
And so on and so forth.
These are the people that wrecked the country.
What I told them is what I will tell you.
Okay.
If anybody wants to Kwakanso to withdraw, let's bring criteria and select the best. Anytime I have any better candidate, I'm ready to talk to him. Thank you very much.
So you can see what they're doing. You can see the game they're playing. I just wanted to just bring that to your attention. When they say they've locked the North, that's what they mean, no? You heard him say, we've locked the North. That means that as far as Northerners are concerned, you will not vote for a Southerner. And if you do, they will change it for you. They will change it so that it's a Northerner. And they've already shown us. Look at the picture that I'm showing you. The picture I'm showing you shows the North taking over the land that belongs to the Middle Belt and making it, look at it, to make the North appear bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to stop here. What are your thoughts on what I've just showed you? What are your thoughts on what the bigotry that Kwakanso has just spewed out? What are your thoughts on his prejudiced statement and this kind of taking for granted and taking the votes of the Middle Belt for granted? In fact, INEC has actually made has made the whole of Middle Belt to be not part of the North, and that is what they're going to use to rig the elections. What are your thoughts on what I've just played? Let me do something. I forgot to do something, so let me just so I really want you to ask that question. I want you to ask this question: how long you going to suffer? How long? These guys, this is the fraud that we've been facing. How long are you going to be suffering? How long? I'm asking. How long? How long? How long gonna go they suffer? How long go? How long? How long are we going to continue to suffer? We need to wake up. These guys are. Look at the picture. Can you see? Can you see? I'm asking that question. How long will I go to suffer? How long? How long? These guys are lying to you, taking what is yours. The INEC has taken over more than all of the land belonging to the Middle Belt and say it's enough. It isn't enough. That is the fraud they're doing right in front of our eyes. We need to wake up. What are your thoughts on this? You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please go ahead. Subscribe to Citizen Network on YouTube. We would really like to hear your thoughts. We would like you to subscribe to Citizen Network on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit notification button, subscribe, hit notification button, give us a thumbs up, help us grow the platform. We need your support. We will not relent. We're going for Yoruba Nation, Middle Belt, Biafra. But before we do that, we need to ensure that there is a referendum that takes place, because Nigeria is a fraud. Nigeria is portraying, they are wiping out the entire Middle Belt and telling us it is the North. It's a fraud. It is a barefaced fraud, one we must reject. Leave your comments. Let's hear from you. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. I might run the whole interview of Kwakanso later on, but this is a very important point that I wanted to raise. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. How long will I go to suffer? The question remains. Thank you.